What the fuck is up, everybody? Yes, it's me, Michael. I am here with the DFS show, week 15, baby. Let's jump into it. What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Tap. My name is Michael. Yes, I am here with Hugh and John, our DFS gurus. And I'm joining in week 15, first week here. So we're going to frick shit up. I'm trying to limit my F words this episode. How are you guys doing today?
It's great, man. Glad to see you're here. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hugh, thank you for joining us again.
Yes, sir. Like always.
Loving all this COVID news.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, that's why we brought Mike in, because we've got all this COVID news that we just had to bring a third person in just to complete the weirdness for the week.
John, did you say you like fucking COVID?
I like the news.
You love COVID news? Yeah. All right.
I like the news. It shakes things up a lot this week. Is that wrong?
Great. Yeah, just in time for freaking fantasy playoffs. Yeah, let's do this.
Well, hopefully most of your roster consisted of Kansas City and Chargers players, right?
No, I had Travis Kelce.
That's fine.
Oof.
In one league. I'm playing against him in 3.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. I'm screwed. So, anyways, let's jump into it. We will stop dilly-dallying. Let's jump into our first showdown. We're doing a showdown for Saturday. Obviously, there's only one game now because the Raiders and the Browns game was moved to Monday at 5. And then we also had the Eagles game and then the Washington football team's game. Washington football team's game was moved as well. Both of those to Tuesday. So we've got freaking football from Saturday to Tuesday. It's going to be a great week.
Yeah, I think we've got 8 days of football over the next 10 days. Jeez. Because we've got a Thursday night next week, and I think we have another Saturday next week as well.
Yes,
Saturday games, baby. They're here. So,
I like Saturday games.
Plus, we also have it's college bowl season, so I love that too. More football all the time, all the football
all the time. All right, let's jump into the Saturday game where we've got the Indianapolis Colts facing off against the New England Patriots. Hugh, how are you liking this game so far? And in a showdown mode, let's talk about our captains.
Yeah, so we saw the last game. Belichick was just like, I'm going to run the ball and wore that Navy mask and just basically said, here's what I'm doing. No one's going to stop me. Damien Harris is out for this game, like we talked about earlier. So I think it makes it really nice to play Ramondre Stevenson and Brandon Bolden. The last time they played in Week 13, Ramondre boasted a 63% snap percentage and Bolden with a 12. So with Damien Harris in Week 10 when he was out, it went Ramondre Stevenson 55% of the rushing and Brandon Bolden 27%. So, and I really like using both of those players as a potential for your showdown lineup. Indianapolis is right now over the last 4 weeks is number 25 ranked in the league, worst against fantasy running backs. So Mac Jones is normally used as a game manager, so I really like those two guys paired up for your showdown.
So are you expecting like a super run-heavy game script between both teams, or do we think we see New England change up the game script, knowing that Indy's going to run primarily the ball a majority of the time, obviously? Do we see New England let Mac Jones air that arm out?
No, I think this is going to be another ground and pound game for both teams, to be honest, because, I mean, New England is great against wide receivers, and so is Indy. They're the top 3 against fantasy wide receivers. Over the last 4 weeks, Indianapolis is the first, and New England is third best against fantasy wide receivers. So I'm thinking this is going to be a ground and pound. game. So Jonathan Taylor, fire him up. Ramondre and Brandon Bolden, fire them up.
All right.
I'm all over Ramondre. All over Ramondre. I agree. I think it's gonna be a very run heavy game in general. However, I do hope that the freaking I honestly lost because I said the F word. I lost my train of thought.
Let's point it out. Let's make it an extra special moment in this episode.
See? Exactly. See? We talked about it before. If we just ignore it, it doesn't happen. It's like children.
Terrible advice. Do not follow.
No, it is great advice. Just don't acknowledge that you cuss in front of them and they won't cut. It's fine.
All right, Mike, this isn't a parenting show. Let's get back to it.
Yes, it is. We're telling them how to set their lineups. We're their daddies. The DFS daddies. You like that? Anyways, Ramondre Stevenson. I'm sorry. Ramondre Stevenson is my captain. I think they're going to ground and pound for sure. However, that's where I was going with it. I do hope that Mac Jones throws just enough because I have Baker Mayfield, and in a Superflex league, so I started Mac Jones over Baker, obviously currently because he has COVID, or is on the COVID list. So I would like him to, as John said, air that arm out. It might be a little wet, so just air it out.
It is a dome game, so it's possible that we do see great conditions for it. But my captain for a roster that we set, each of us did set our own rosters that we're going to give to you guys throughout. But I actually was able to squeeze Jonathan Taylor in mine. If we do see this heavy ground and pound game, which most of us do expect, the guy's gotten 80-plus yards and a touchdown for, I think it's 7+ weeks now. He is an absolute monster. And I do still believe that we're going to see Indianapolis run the ball through him, making it their game script. Now, when we go out of that, what other players are you really looking for as far as like deeper down the board, cheaper, you can use to maybe get Jonathan Taylor as a captain if you want to save some money for that?
Well, Brandon Bolden right now is his price tag is $1,800, so I think he's really going to be pretty chalky guy because he's cheap. He's going to have good value. I think playing the Patriots D is going to get you there as well. The kickers are going to come into play. I don't really see anybody else that I really want to play down deep here. The only other person that I'd want to play would be Jacoby Johnson. He saw the last time this happened when Harris was out, he saw 37% snap share. So he is $300. So if you want to get off of and save some cash, I think Jacoby Johnson's going to get you there. Kind of looking up, I mean, there's no one really else that I really, really want to play. I mean, you could play N'Keal Harry for 300 and think he might have a good one. The tight ends, another guy that's pretty cheap that has been seeing a lot of red zone targets and kind of been getting these head scratching. Who is this guy? But Austin Doolin has been seeing a fair amount of red zone targets. So he's actually scored a few touchdowns here recently. Actually, he scored a touchdown in the last 2 games that he's played. So he got one for 62 yards and he had one for 2 yards. So might be a dart throw there for Austin Doolin. Obviously, N'Keal Harry. Tight ends probably are going to be good. Jack Doyle's gotten a lot of use as of late on goal line situations for the Colts, and Hunter Henry, always worth a shot. So I'm not really looking at either team's pass game, to be honest. I think this is going to be a ground and pound game.
Yeah, I think anything past your kickers and like Nelson Aguilar, Zach Pascal, T.Y. Hilton, you're really looking at just dart throws down the board. And as you're saying, Brandon Bolden coming in as that change of pace back is someone you can throw in there for a nice little comfortable floor with a nice upside as well. If for some reason he gets a nice little chunk of that run game. Is there anything else we want to go over in this Thursday night game, or we want to release our rosters?
Well, it's Saturday, and I am all over the kickers. All over the kickers.
Always.
So, yes. Always. Maybe captain. Maybe not. Probably not. Definitely not. But didn't work out well last time. But if Nick Folk does play, he's slapped. He had the questionable tag. I guess he has a little knee injury, a little boo-boo. If he does play, I'm going to play. I might add him to my lineup. I am playing Michael Badgley currently. It is a dome game. I think both of these offenses are good enough to get down the field, but not good enough to score a ton of touchdowns. So I do think it could be a heavy field goal game back and forth with both good defenses. Also, obviously, like Hunter Henry, Jacoby Myers, Jonathan Taylor, and then the Patriots defense because, Carson Wentz could throw a couple picks at any point in time, even though he's only thrown 3 on the season.
All right. Let's jump into our Sunday night slate where we're going to be having still a kind of choppy amount of games. When we get into it, is there any games that you're specifically targeting this week, Hugh?
Yeah. We like to target games that are over 50. This week, I don't see any on the main slate right now. The closest one is Arizona Cardinals at Detroit Lions. That game, I think, with DeAndre Hopkins out, I think you're kind of funneling targets to AJ Green, and you are also looking at James Conner. He has a questionable tag on him right now, but I think he'll be able to. I think he'll play. I think you're kind of targeting individual teams at this one. You're not really looking for really a lot of bringbacks per se. I mean, you can get really different. So if you like to play contrarian, I think this is your week. Okay. I really like though to play some of these down and dirty games. Jacksonville and Houston, I really like for value. There's some really cheap stacks you can make from there. Get to other guys. I think maybe playing some guys from Cincinnati if people are scared of the Broncos defense. Another one I like, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. That is a 41 and a half over under. I think that people still are sleeping on Tennessee Titans running backs right now, and the Steelers are just absolutely horrendous against fantasy RB. So I'm liking Hilliard. I'm liking Foreman again, second week in a row that I'm liking them against Pittsburgh. And, you can have a nice little mini correlation stack there with Foreman and Deontay Johnson and maybe even Tannehill and Julio Jones for how cheap he is.
I would have to agree with you there. So what about some players like obviously we have the Chase Edmonds and James Conner. Chase Edmonds possibly coming back for a return. Going up against the Detroit Lions, who obviously have not been very good against the running back this year. And Chase Edmonds, I believe, is still sitting at a very cheap price for us if we did want to go that route. I'm trying to find him right now.
So I kind of want to stay away from Edmonds. Connor's been playing unbelievable. And if they go away from Connor, I mean, it's just probably not a smart thing for them to do unless they want to rest him.
I do think that he tweaked his leg, his knee his ankle, at the end of the game against the Rams, which may find, I don't know. I do think that we could find a little bit of value there. He's only, Edmonds is sitting at 5,100. Is there anyone else that you're looking at that might be a not so chalky play, kind of a sleeper for everyone?
Yeah, if you're looking at some guys that are pretty, I guess, out there. I mean, Laquan Treadwell versus Houston, 3,300 at 7%. This one's kind of a little bit more chalky, but Devontae Parker, 35%. He's been seeing 7% or 7 targets a game pretty much when he's been in. With Waddle out, I really like him. Him and Gesicki, I like there. Gabriel Davis, a little bit cheaper than Devontae Parker, and he's got about 25% ownership on him against Carolina. Michael Carter might be a pretty good play, 4,700 against
No.
Miami.
Don't even.
No way. You gotta go there though.
They've literally been one of the best run defenses. They've literally been one of the best run defenses the past 7 weeks.
So the last 4 weeks against running backs, I'm just going off of half-point PPR. Miami's 4th best.
Yes.
All right. It's still, you're looking at cheap guys that it's, tournaments.
Yeah, there's players that could break out. These aren't players that you're starting in your fantasy lineups during your playoffs. This is if you're building a game slate and it's going one way, take the shot on this.
Just getting, Braxton
I don't
Berrios
think he's
in the slot against Miami at less than what percent,
I wouldn't play Michael Carter in daily, even if I was trying to build a strange one. Just take the shot on him. The dart throw is there though. We do have Tevin Coleman coming back, I believe, as well. Ty Johnson has been the only back there before the bye week. But I will be honest, I am stuck playing him in a fantasy matchup,
redraft,
even though
or dynasty or something.
It is redraft.
Yeah, I would rather play David Johnson, for instance, than Michael Carter. I think he's going to get the majority of the backs. They've already kept majority of the touches. They've already come out and said that. And he's going against Jacksonville. And I think, he's $200 more. So, yeah, I'd rather go that route.
Now, is
there's not really a lot of deep dives that I'm looking really play here. Honestly, I'm liking guys more kind of like above 4K.
Yeah.
Mike Davis is an interesting one. If you need a decently cheap guy going up against San Francisco, and he's getting a pretty decent amount of touches, at least 10 or so as of late. So, I mean, I think he's another dart throw. Plus, he's been getting a decent amount of patch catching with the last 4 weeks. So, I like him.
Yeah, he's definitely not someone who's a sexy play, but he's been a little bit consistent, and it's kind of his game.
And then, I mean, James Robinson's another one of my favorites this week, but a lot of people are going to play him. Also, Myles Gaskin. He just got activated back from COVID, so I do like him as well. 5,600. And no Waddle. I think he's going to be really heavily involved in the passing game, like a little more than usual.
All right. So, what about some kind of receivers? Who are we liking at the high end here? We're talking about players between the 9,000 and 6,000 salary range. Anyone that's sticking out as going to be in a lot of your lineups and you would recommend to a lot of people?
So kind of just starting at the top here, Davonte Adams, great spot against Baltimore. They really have been pretty open. They've been pretty horrible recently. Deebo Samuel, he's their running back. I don't care if you play Jeff Wilson. Deebo Samuel's been their running back. Najee Harris against Pitt or against Tennessee, fairly decent matchup. He hasn't been seeing he's been seeing a lot of the work, just not a lot of the production. That offensive line's been absolutely horrible. He hasn't really been able to get anything like he has, and Ben's not checking down to him as much. He's going to Deontay.
I like Deontay a lot this week if we're going higher ends.
Yeah, I was going to say Deontay next. Deontay's kind of, getting a quarter of the market share for big term. That's at 23%. One that's a little bit down that if he stays below here, I think I'm going to have more of this, is Stephon Diggs against Carolina at 17%. So I like that. If you could get Steph and Davonte in your lineup, make that work with a couple of the cheap guys that you're able to put in there. I think I'm kind of out on Elliott. The guy's only probably going to get like 60 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns if they run it in. The only way you play Zeke is if you're going to fade Dak this week. I think that's just kind of how he's been. Like, he's not explosive. He's not breaking plays. He's not, it's just not a very sexy play.
Mike, are there any receivers outside of that range? Any dart throws that you're taking shots on?
I fucking hate.
I have a dart throw.
Christian Kirk. I like Christian Kirk a lot this week. Also, who was it? Oh, I think maybe. No, it's not sexy. I don't like that. Marvin Jones. I think with Jacksonville, Jacksonville's gonna have a good week, especially with no, Urban Meyer there. Obviously, I think that Marvin Jones is gonna give Urban Meyer the subtle middle finger this week and ball out.
I think it's gonna be James Robinson.
Have a good week, but
That's gonna be James Robinson, in my opinion.
I think both of them. I mean,
after getting benched for that fumble.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I like both of those guys. Or I like James Robinson for sure. But if I want to dart throw it, I think Marvin Jones, 4,600. I kind of like him, and he's pretty cheap. But Christian Kirk, I think, is gonna have a really good game.
All right, let me give you my dart throw wide receiver.
Let's hear it. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Absolutely.
Walker.
Absolutely. No TJ Hawkinson, no DeAndre Swift again. Jamal Williams there. And since DeAndre Swift's been out, has been balling out. Has been getting 10 or more points every game. And then again, with Hawkinson out, he has been turned out to be this nice little underneath receiver. He's not going downfield for big plays. But he has been getting a lot of targets and has been turning him into some solid production.
Can I match your Amon-Ra St. Brown real quick?
Can you what?
Can I match your Amon-Ra St. Brown real quick?
Let's do it.
Nico Collins coming off of a 10-target game.
I like him too.
Against Jacksonville. Davis Mills did not look that bad. So
got Davis Mills as a dart throw QB this week. I really like him. I like him more than I do Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Darrell Bevell is going to be able to get Trevor going in just 1 week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a heavy James Robinson week. But
yeah, I don't lean on him.
I do like Nico Collins, though.
Nico Collins.
I mean, you got Nico Collins, but I like Brandon Cooks.
Of course. I mean, yeah. But a little dart throw action.
Yeah. Let's get a little dartier. Little dartier.
And here's another thing is the fact that, the Texans are going to they're going to start evaluating for next year. I mean, it's the end of the season. Obviously, they have no shot. They're already eliminated. So they got to start looking into what they have in the future. Brandon Cooks is not going to be a part of that future. He might stay another year, but long term, I don't think he'll be there. I think they give Nico Collins some more opportunities this week to see what he is, how he is, and that could benefit us as far as DFS goes. Mm-hmm. So, did we talk about dart throw running backs?
No, let's jump in on though. Let's go backtrack a little bit.
Let's do it. You got one? You got any, John? I was wondering. I didn't really.
Oh, you brought it up like you had someone you were thinking about, and you're like, hold up, we need to go back.
No, I mean Mike Davis is my biggest one, I guess I would say. But I mean, I don't. Right. And David Johnson too.
Hugh, is there anyone that we might have skipped over in the running backs that you are kind of want to put your name on?
We brought it up, but I mean, Michael Carter, I just like him for the value percentage, for what he's worth, 4,700. I mean, might be worth a shot. Dontrell Hilliard, 4,900. I like those Tennessee backs against the Steelers. I mean, other than that, God, it is really yucky when you start getting down there.
No Duke Johnson?
I mean,
No.
I was going to have,
Ahmed. Salvon Ahmed's
Yeah.
back, Miles Gaskin's back, and Malcolm Brown's back.
yeah. I mean, shoot, if you want to fade Zeke, I mean, Corey Kmet outsnapped Zeke last week, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, you can go with that, and I mean, Zeke saw 43. So Zeke saw 64% of snaps last week to Clement's 36, but on 64%, Zeke only got was it? I mean, I'm not on Zeke at all. Like, I'm off of him.
What about the John's favorite position, the tight end?
I do enjoy tight ends.
Being a previous tight end himself.
Oh wow, okay, that's what you meant. Well, not okay. That's better.
Yeah, you're more of a loose end guy, aren't you?
Oh man,
George Kittle coming in at the most expensive tight end on the week, $7,500.
Yeah, he's starting to get up there. I mean, you're paying for. He is the receiver right now since Debo's the running back. I think a lot of people are going to play him just because he's the flashiest name on the slate. Again, I don't really like paying up for tight end. I really like Dawson Knox at 5,100, Mike Gesicki at 5K. And if you want to go all the way down low, my favorite play of the week for tight end is Ryan Griffin at 2,900. So
Going back down that well, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go down there. Last week, Ryan Griffin saw, where is he at? 55% snaps last week. So I will definitely take that. Let's see what else he had. He's not sexy, but he's getting the he's getting the targets, and he's available for Zach Wilson, and Wilson just sucks. And so he's last week he went 2 for 28. Not great, but I mean, if he falls in 2 for 28 and a touchdown, like he did the previous week, was 2 for 15 and a touch. I mean, at 2,900, that's all you need.
All right. Well, if we're going to go that low down the board, let me offer Brevan Jordan if he ends up playing this week. Someone who's really been taking taking a couple steps forward, sitting at 2,800 right now. In the past 3 weeks, has been able to garnish himself 9 catches on, I believe that's 14 targets there. The rookie's kind of starting to step up. Obviously, hasn't had a lot of tape behind him so far in the NFL, but we saw him really make himself an impact player. And like kind of Mike was saying, you might be seeing the Texans start evaluating some of the guys that are younger, that are cheaper, any of the guys that are on their longer contracts or maybe costing them a little bit more, as they're definitely going to be hitting a rebuild this offseason. And after being eliminated, I would like to see Brevan Jordan and Davis Mills connect this week. And then if we're tracking targets, with the Tennessee receiving core, Anthony First has been getting a lot of work with the bad receiving core in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So the Baltimore defense has been pretty bad against tight ends the entire season. If you really want to get one that's down and dirty and even cheaper than my Ryan Griffin and don't like that, Joshua DeGuara. Josiah DeGuara, yeah.
I was just looking
he's been getting some play. He's been getting some reps with Rodgers, and Rodgers has been throwing it to him too. So I definitely would take a shot with him if you're going cheap tight end.
All right, Mike, you got a cheap one for us?
I was gonna say Josiah DeGuara, actually.
All right, let's jump over to the defense before we get on out of here.
Did we talk about quarterbacks?
No,
I don't think we did.
Did we skip right over the most important position in roster building?
Right over. Yeah.
I mean, do you really want to play a quarterback this week?
I think I have to. Or I should. I would not recommend not playing one.
I mean, you've got three guys that are pretty good matchups: Allen, Murray, Rodgers. All three really good guys. I don't think. I mean, you can go two at 5,700 as well if you want to play down low.
I almost wore my Tua jersey for this episode just for that comment. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know.
I looked at it.
I don't think you can play him this way. I think Jimmy G. I think Jimmy G is a good play. He's right there, 5,800.
He's been top 10 quarterback. He's a top 10 fantasy quarterback over the last couple of weeks.
So I'm playing. I'd rather have Jimmy G. I am actually playing Jimmy G over Tua this week in a few leagues, but even in DFS, I kind of like his upside going up against Atlanta.
I think in really big tournaments, though, I think I'm liking Davis Mills all the way down at 5,400. He's going to be less than 1% owned. Jacksonville's defense blows. I think you can go I think you could, go both ways on that. You can go Davis Mills or you can go Trevor Lawrence.
Here's an interesting one.
Oh,
and
please.
I'm only
Don't steal him. Who's it?
Jared Goff.
Ew, no, never mind. No.
Listen.
No, absolutely no.
You think it's because he knows how to play against Arizona?
Exactly. That's my only thing is like, if you're going to take it, he's my dart throw this week at 5,100. If I just want to go cheap dart throw quarterback, he's played against them many a time. So I think Jared Goff, this week could do decent, in or against Arizona, playing at home against them too, which is nice. So, yeah. So just a dart throw. That's my dart throw. Who are you talking about, John? Were you going to talk about like Zach Wilson or something?
No, not that bad. Big Ben. Big Ben's been actually turning it up a little bit these past couple of weeks, and then going against Tennessee this week, we could see a great showing again. Big Ben single-handedly got me into a playoff position that might kick me out of. I saw Big Ben in for Taylor Heineke right before the Thursday night game, and oh my gosh.
Basically like playing Jalen Hurts. You just wait for the fourth quarter, and then you watch Big Ben.
Absolutely. I was waiting for overtime. I was begging, pleading.
You got in that playoff?
I did.
Congrats.
I did.
Really tried to spoil it for you. So
I'm
gonna get kicked the fuck out anyway. I'm playing against Kelsey.
Me too. I had TJ Hawkinson and I was starting Tua all year and I drafted CMC. So
I drafted Matt Ryan. I don't want to hear it.
Why would you draft Matt Ryan? Mike, we have a fantasy show.
Guess what? I am the highest scorer in that league.
What week did you start streaming quarterbacks? And
the whole season. I have Taysom Hill now. So.
Okay. All right. So let's jump back into the defenses now that we got the quarterbacks out of the way. Again, looking at a lot of postponed games and some teams up against. I'm not seeing anyone on the cheap end that's really catching my eye and really drawing me in.
Really? I feel like I keep going back to this game. And it's not sexy, but the Jacksonville Jaguars. Davis Mills could get a couple turnovers, I think.
I think I'm playing the other side of this game. I think I'm playing the Texans versus the Jaguars here.
I trust Davis, Trevor Lawrence more than I trust Davis Mills.
I trust Mills over Lawrence.
I'm going to stay away from this game personally. I personally, based off what we've seen so far, I would trust Trevor Lawrence less than Davis Mills in this matchup. But knowing that I expect Trevor Lawrence to be a much better quarterback, ready to shove a middle finger right in Urban Meyer's face, throw for 500 yards on Sunday and 4 touchdowns, because if he's the guy that he was drafted to be, that's what he should be able to do against this Texans defense. I'm just going to stay away. Just going to back away slowly. Hands up. Just get out of here. I'm not a part of this.
I concede.
I concede. Realistically, though, if I had to take one of these cheaper ones, I'm looking at, and it's not even a sexy one as well, but the Bengals over the Broncos.
I was looking at them too.
Their defense, not a great one. They've been averaging on FanDuel 6.6 points per game, which is less than the Broncos. But I see that Teddy Bridgewater's a quarterback that's been likely to make some mistakes, turn the ball over, or the running backs seem to be doing the fumbles, or receivers have been tipping passes, and we've seen some turnovers there. And I think the Bengals can capitalize as they're still within range of making the playoffs and a very hungry team that just needs to be on the right track. Now, what about some of these more expensive ones if we want to pay up and we don't want to take shots on the Houston Texans stomping the Jaguars or vice versa?
49ers and the Dolphins.
All right. I think Dolphins are a super chalky play, but I think it's a safe one.
They are going to be chalky as hell.
Dallas.
You're liking
Dallas's offensive line is defensive line is just absolutely massive right now. Like they have a massive defensive line, and they're just crushing anybody.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones is a very turnover friendly man.
Quite.
Yeah.
Does not like to hold on to the foosball very well sometimes. Anyone else?
I also like Packers. Packers versus Baltimore. They're not going to get a lot of play. I like the Titans defense against the Steelers at 3,000 a lot. No one's going to play them.
I would flip that. I like the Steelers against the Titans.
No, because the Titans haven't been giving the ball up, and Ben has been that offensive line has just been atrocious, and they're just giving up sacks and interceptions galore. So, we saw it happen.
Ryan Tannehill just had a 4-interception game 2 games ago.
Who'd they play? Who?
The Patriots. No, wait, no. This was the Texans. I'm sorry. This is the Texans game.
That he threw for 4 interceptions?
Yes.
Pittsburgh's defense is not their...
Is not the Texans? No.
No, I don't even think that they're horrible. They're the worst defense right now to play and get points. I learned that last week.
Yes. That was a bad play.
Yeah.
I think who did you? Oh yeah. You played him in the listener league. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. I could stream them.
Not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not so much at all. Let's be honest though. It was Kansas City that really fucked you there.
Yeah, 28 points. Ooh, sheesh. So, John, you want to build the lineup? It's my first time ever.
You want to build the lineup? It's your first time ever.
Sorry.
I can do it.
I think my AirPods died, or I can't hear you. Maybe you're.
Uh-oh. Better not be.
It's probably my end, so don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I will build a lineup as Mike figures out what's going on with this thingamabobber here.
I can hear you. It was just my AirPods. I think they died.
Oh, that's not good. You should probably take a look at that. All right, guys. So we've got 3 people, so we can make this a very democratic process. This is a dictatorship. All right, Mr. Dictator, what quarterback are we going with? You can make the first start.
Penis tater. Let's see. Quarterback. No, I don't want to make this pick.
All right. So, where do you want to start? What position?
I want to go
missionary.
Aaron Rodgers and pair him with Davonte Adams.
Okay, so we're gonna go cheap for the rest of our roster at this point.
Good night.
Okay, if it lets me. I don't know what just happened there.
You want to play the Deebo Samuel and Diggs as well? We can do that.
Yeah, I have no money after that.
Wait, we're playing Adams and Rodgers. Wow, okay.
We are stacking the stack.
And then let's bring it back with the cheap option, right? Because we always like to correlate tight end. Let's play DeGuara.
No, we're not playing this many.
Yeah, let's play DeGuara.
No, we're not playing DeGuara. I'm sorry. I am the guest. We're not playing DeGuara.
Let's see where this lineup goes. Because right now I'm not in love, but I'm not totally against it.
Oh man.
You can whiff on one player and still win some money here.
Yes, definitely. Agree.
So let's see where we go after this. All right. So what are we looking at next? Do we want to start looking at some running backs, or do we want to jump to the defense and see what kind of budget we have?
Let's go running backs because I don't like a lot of the top options. So we can really narrow down our wide receivers playing cheap running backs. Like we could play Myles Gaskin.
Okay. See, Mike, you let him run a little bit, and then you could draw him back in with the Myles Gaskin play. Still hurt our total, but we're fine. We're fine.
I really want to play Deontay Foreman. I'm going to play him everywhere this week. So, I mean.
My computer's acting up. This sucks.
Is it because what's Rashad Penn? Oh, that game got moved. Never mind. All right, so let's go with that. You said Deontay Foreman? Royce Freeman?
Yeah. Deontay Foreman, yeah.
All right, we got him in there. Back up to $5K per game or per player. We're looking for 2 wide receivers, a flex, and a defense. What position are we going to next?
Christian Kirk, wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals. Woo!
Okay, I can live with that one.
Throw in the defense so we can see what we've got for the last flex.
If we need a cheap receiver, I've got one for us.
We playing. You want to play your Jaguars D?
I'm voting no on that one.
No, I'm voting no on that.
I'd rather spend like the extra K on
like
we've got 14. We've got
or something like that. Or
all right, now let's play San Fran.
You guys better dominate.
Probably not.
All right, we're looking at $5,800 per player. Need a receiver and a flex option.
Why don't we throw in Deontay Johnson?
Okay. Boom. We're down to 4K. Damn.
Sorry, John.
It's all right. We can get rid of Christian Kirk and find someone else at this 4,200 range.
Well, my mouse is dead, so this is.
Who do we have? Look at 4,200. Who can we play?
Sorry, my mouse is struggling to scroll down this far.
Devon. Oh shit, he's 4,300.
Keeney.
Okay, hold up. We can fit Davonte Parker in here. We can change up this defense.
Or you can get rid of Christian Kirk and throw in Parker.
We can get rid of Christian Kirk, throw in Parker. Hold up, guys. Problem is solved. Oh, no, this isn't going to solve the problem. Oh, yes, it is.
52.
Oh, man. We got everybody that everybody wanted.
Except Christian Kirk. Mike, are you vomiting because of the you know what?
This is not going to win us any money. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm not liking
I don't like this.
Right here. All right. I'm not liking it at all. What's killing us here? I think it's the stack.
I think we spent too much money on this stack. I would rather have a better tight end. Yeah.
All right. So let's look at quarterbacks. If we're not going with the stack, who else? What other quarterbacks do we agree that we could build tonight? What if we went with a Davis Mills and Brandon Cook stack?
Let's not.
I'm fine with it. Run it.
I think we can build a lot around that. Or if we wanted to keep Deontay in there,
keep Deontay. Keep Deontay.
We could do a Big Ben.
Keep Deontay and keep Deontay and then Foreman.
We could do a Big Ben
because then that gives you a Foreman.
Let me see how this Mills, Foreman, and Mike. You can never guarantee that you're not going to make money because
Guaranteeing it.
random things happen all the time. We were going to go with Cooks. Okay, so that opens up that.
I'm guaranteed.
Defense. Let's keep San Francisco in there. I feel like they're a solid, not so cheap, not so expensive option for you. If we went back to the running back options here, we're still looking. We've got a pretty decent 5,700 available per person. We could go Mike Gesicki in at tight end for $5K.
You could definitely do that.
And then throw in Marvin Jones.
I mean, we've got enough money to put James Robinson in and stick with the chalk. We could also at this point, we could go with a 5K-ish running back and get a top-end player.
I'm liking Connor or Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones?
Yeah. Or CPAT.
All right, if we go CPAT, that leaves us 6,500 available for our flex option. And I like these options a lot, actually. A lot better than where we were. So many postponed games, questionable players. What if we swap Gaskin out for Foreman? How are we feeling about that option?
Keep Foreman. Pittsburgh is the worst fantasy defense against running backs. They can't stop anybody. Like, if I had anybody of a lock of the week, it's Foreman.
Okay. I'm going to take out Marvin Jones. I'm going to throw back in at our flex. I think we should put James Robinson in at the flex if we're going to go with a Jags player.
I think he's 5,400.
Yeah, he's at 5,400. He's cheap for upside. Even if it's chalky, it's still cheap. And at that point, we're able to get 5,700 for our last receiver. We got Gallup, Jones, Kirk. We can get Kirk in there now. I believe it was Kirk, Deontay, Cooks. We have the option of getting some of these other
Green.
guys. AJ Green. Mike, I know you like AJ Green.
Yeah, nah.
No,
you backed off?
He had 10 targets last game against the...
I know, but we can't go recency bias all the time. I mean, I would rather have Christian Kirk. What are we looking for? Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would rather have Christian Kirk, but that's just me.
I mean, we can go Gallup. We can go not Judy. I'm not feeling Judy. We can. We're like just under that nice wide receiver budget. All right, I lied. We're gonna go with.
Let's hear it. I'm having fucking
Texans.
bad technical difficulties right now.
Yeah, we gave up on you a while ago, bud.
My fucking mouse is just like went to crap. So this episode may never come out because I cannot hit this record button to stop recording.
Don't you have like a trackpad or?
Yeah, and it's done for. So.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Love to hear it. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to throw Christian Kirk in here.
All right. Let's see. We got.
All right. So that's going to be the lineup.
Hold up.
We're not holding up. That's going to be the lineup. We got Davis Mills, Deonta Foreman, Cordero Patterson, Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, Mike Gesicki, James Robinson, and then Hughes at Atlanta. San Francisco 49ers. Hugh, if your defense doesn't come through on this, we're gonna have some issues.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna have issues. Yeah,
big time issues.
It's all I need. You got to call up your defensive coordinator and say, "Hey, man."
Yeah, let me get a hold of D'Amico real quick.
So
DM him on Twitter. He's available. Works for some people, I'm sure.
But yeah, foos. All right, definitely the most entertaining episode, I would say.
Let's see if you're able to actually end it, so people can enjoy it.
We'll see. Hopefully, I'm praying so. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. It was fun. It's fun being here. We'll have to do it soon.
Yes, sir. You have to come and join next week.
So we do this every week.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
But all right, thanks everyone for joining. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, liking these videos, and then also don't forget that Discord that's going to be linked down below in the description. And then don't forget, set your lineups. The playoffs are here. Hopefully you're in them. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.